Hi class, this is Dr. Karsten, and today we are doing Unit 1, Lesson 2, Session 1. We're going over the practice pages together here. So let's jump right in. I told you to skip problem number 1 and go straight to problem number 2. And for here it says, circle the lesser price. Explain how using place value helps you to know this is the lesser price. So I want you to think, what does this word mean, lesser? And I can see in there the word less. The lesser price is going to be the one that's less or is smaller. So we're looking for the lower or the smaller price. So let's take a look at what our two prices are. And this price tag says $652. This price tag says $1,256. So we have to decide which one is less. Now remember, the technique that we talked about was for us to go ahead and to stack these numbers and then compare them. So I'm going to put 652 first. And then you have to be very careful that you line them up properly. I'm going to put 1,256. Now I can compare these. And remember, when we're comparing two numbers, we always start on the left side, the furthest left that we can go. So again, I had to line them up based on that these are the ones, the tens, the hundreds, and the thousands, but now I can go ahead and I can compare them starting on the left. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the thousands. And right here, what I see is that this number has a digit in the thousands place. It has a 1, but this one does not have a digit in the thousands place. This has nothing in the thousands place, which would be the same as saying that it has a 0 in the thousands place. So now what I do know is that this number, 1,256, is the larger number, so I'm going to circle that price tag right here. And we just showed how we did this, but it also says, explain how using place value helps you know this is the lesser price. And what I could do is I could explain how in the thousands place, there is the smaller number here has nothing, has no thousands, whereas the larger number does have 1,000. So what I'm going to write is, I'm going to say that 652 has no digit in the thousands place, but 1,256 does. So, now we want to say so. $652 is less than 1,256. So that would be a great way to do this. And I'm sorry, my handwriting's a little messy tonight. So let's just take a quick look at this again. So it asked us for the lesser price. We figured out which one was lesser. We did it by lining them up and comparing our place values. And just to remind you here, we have our ones, our tens, our hundreds, and our thousands. Sorry, that's my puppy. And then we compared them and we realized that since there was nothing in the thousands place for this number, and this one did have something, that this one clearly was bigger, and we wrote that down. All right, so let's go ahead and let's take a look at it at the next page and see what we have here. So I know that we have a couple more questions. So here we go. So for this one, so this is question 3. It says 2 teams are competing in a trivia game. Team A has 1,627 points. Team B has 1,816 points. Which team has more points? So again, we're comparing numbers. We want to know which team has more points. And I always make sure I pay attention to that, because here it's asking us for more points, but in the other one it was asking us for less. So you want to make sure you're answering based on what they're asking. And then I have my two things. I know that team A is this, 1,627, and team B is 1,816. So again, to compare them, I always think it's really easy to stack them. You could even make a place value chart. Either is fine, but I'm going to go ahead first and stack them. So I have team A, which is going to be 1,627, and team B is going to be 1,816. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start on the left-hand side, and I'm going to compare them in the thousands place. I'm going to go ahead and label this. So I have my thousands, my hundreds, my tens, and my ones. And again, we could make this into a beautiful place value chart if we wanted to, if that's helpful. And so we're going to start on the left, and when I start on the left, what I notice is that they both have a 1 in the thousands place. So that's not going to help me compare them. So I'm going to just go ahead and cross that one off. Now I'm going to go to the hundreds place, and when I look at this at the hundreds place, I can see that the values, the digits, are different. I have a 6 and an 8. So remember, this is in the hundreds, so that 6 represents 600, whereas this 8 represents 800. Well, now let me ask you, which one's bigger? If I'm comparing 600 and I'm comparing 800, which one is the bigger number? And remember, the alligator eats the bigger number. And I'm hoping everyone's telling me that 800 is the bigger number, so I can write it like this. So 600 is less than 800, or 800 is larger than 600, which means that this is my bigger number. So that is why I'm going to circle that, and that's also why I'm going to write for my solution that team B has more points. So team B has more points, and here I showed how I did that by using a place value chart. So one more thing that I may have wanted to write in here that would have been good information was also to say that both of the teams had a 1 in the thousands place. That would have been another thing to write. But this is good. We've explained it, I think, very thoroughly. So now down here it says check your answer, show your work. So different ways to check your answer. If I had not used a place value chart here, I would have shown a place value chart down here. Another option is that I could do expanded form for this. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's show that for team A, that 1,627 is equal to 1,000 plus 600 plus 20 plus 7. And that for team B, I have 1,816. And that would be 1,000 plus 800 plus 10 plus 6. So now I have this written down, and again, all I did was I pulled this out into the different place value. I'm showing that this is how many thousands I have. So I'm really showing the value of what we had in the place value chart up here. So we have, each of them has 1,000, but then this one has 600 and this one has 800. So again, they both have 1,000. So I could write that, both have 1,000. And then we can talk about right here what we're seeing, which is that 600 is less than 800. So 1,627 is less than 1,816. So this would be another way to show the work that we did. And you know, either way is fine. You could have done this up top and then flip them and put the top work in the bottom. Either way would be fine. But ultimately, what you should be telling me is that Team B has more points, and what you should notice is that since they both have 1,000 points, that you had to look at the hundreds place. And then in the hundreds place, clearly Team B had more, and so Team B has more points. All right, I hope that this is helpful, and I will see you in our Google Classroom. Have a great day, everyone.